Stone walls rise like frozen waves against a grey sky, and from the outside medieval castles look like places of safety and power. The mystery begins when you step inside. These were not warm halls of comfort, but cold, echoing machines built for survival under constant threat. Here is the paradox. Castles were designed to keep enemies out, yet they trapped their own people inside some of the harshest living conditions imaginable. Imagine waking before dawn in a chamber where your breath turns visible, straw crunches beneath your feet, and smoke from last night's fire still clings to the air. There is no glass in the windows, only shutters and oiled cloth, and the wind always finds a way in. Food is rationed, water is guarded, and disease lurks in every dark corner. And yet people lived here for years, sometimes entire lifetimes. Families grew up inside these walls. Children learned to walk on cold stone floors. Servants, soldiers, nobles and cooks all endured the same brutal environment for one reason. The castle had to function as a world unto itself, capable of surviving siege, famine, and winter at the same time. How did ordinary people adapt their bodies, habits, and minds to conditions that would overwhelm most of us within days? The answer lies not in comfort, but in relentless adaptation, shared hardship, and systems designed to keep life going when escape was impossible. To understand survival inside a medieval castle, you have to erase modern ideas of privacy, hygiene, and personal space. Castles were crowded ecosystems, especially during times of danger. When war threatened, nearby villagers flooded inside the walls, bringing animals, tools, and supplies. Halls meant for feasting became sleeping quarters. Corridors turned into storage. The castle was not a palace, it was a fortress under pressure. Daily life followed a strict hierarchy. Nobles lived higher up, closer to light and security, while servants and soldiers slept near kitchens, stables, or gatehouses where noise, smells, and danger were constant. Food reflected this order as well. The wealthy ate meat and bread made from fine flour, while most survived on coarse bread, pottage, and whatever could be preserved. Winters were especially brutal. Fresh food vanished, fires were carefully rationed, and sickness spread easily in enclosed spaces. Yet castles were stocked with purpose. Salted meat, dried peas, grain stores, ale barrels and wells dug deep into bedrock allowed life to continue when the outside world became hostile. Social bonds mattered as much as supplies. People depended on each other for labour, protection and morale. Storytelling, routine, prayer and shared meals created structure in a place where time blurred and danger felt constant. Survival was not heroic, it was communal and relentless. Here is the clever part most people overlook. Castles were engineered not just to resist attack, but to manage human survival under stress. Thick stone walls acted as thermal mass, absorbing heat from fires and bodies during the day and releasing it slowly at night. Fireplaces were massive and carefully positioned, often shared between rooms to conserve fuel. Kitchens were placed deep inside the structure, where their constant heat warmed nearby chambers. Imagine how valuable that warmth became during freezing nights. Water systems were another hidden triumph. Wells inside the walls ensured access even during siege, and rainwater was often collected and channeled through stone gutters. Waste disposal relied on gravity. Latrines were built into walls, so waste dropped away from living spaces, reducing disease as much as possible for the time. Daily routines were designed around energy conservation. Work was done during daylight. Darkness meant rest. Clothing, layered wool, linen and fur, trapping body heat the same way modern insulation works. People slept together not for comfort, but for warmth and safety. These systems were not luxurious, but they were logical responses to constant scarcity. Over generations, trial and error shaped every feature. Anything that wasted heat, food, or strength was slowly abandoned. What survived was what worked, and that knowledge was passed down without manuals, embedded directly into stone and habit. The logic of castle survival feels strangely relevant today. Modern life surrounds us with convenience, yet often leaves us fragile when systems fail. Medieval castles assumed failure as the default. Food would run out, winter would come, enemies would attack. Everything was built with that expectation. Imagine applying that mindset now. Thermal mass walls inspire modern passive houses. Shared heating spaces reduce energy use. Local food storage increases resilience. Community cooperation lowers stress during crisis. Even the castle schedule, shaped by daylight and seasons, mirrors modern advice about circadian rhythms and mental health. Castles also teach us about limits. People accepted discomfort as part of survival, not as failure. They understood that warmth, safety and food were precious resources, not unlimited rights. This created habits of repair, reuse and careful planning that modern societies often lack. The castle was not efficient by modern standards, but it was resilient. When supply chains broke, life did not immediately collapse. When danger arrived, the system tightened rather than shattered. In a world facing climate stress, energy shortages and social fragmentation, the old fortress logic quietly returns. Build thick, store wisely, share resources, plan for the worst while hoping for the best. The stone walls may be gone, but the principles still stand. Living inside a medieval castle was not about comfort, happiness or choice. It was about endurance. Survival came from understanding reality without illusions and shaping life around it. People accepted cold, darkness, noise and danger as constants, and focused instead on what could be controlled: fire, food, shelter, routine and community. That mindset is the real legacy of castle life. It reminds us that humans are not fragile creatures who need perfect conditions to survive. We are adaptive, creative, and capable of finding meaning even in harsh environments. The castle stripped life down to essentials and revealed what truly mattered when everything else fell away. In doing so, it offers a quiet challenge to the modern world. We have more comfort than any generation before us, yet often feel less secure. Medieval castle dwellers had less control, yet built systems that allowed life to continue against impossible odds. Their survival was not accidental. It was the result of hard-earned knowledge, shared responsibility, and respect for limits. As you walk through ruined castles today, remember they were once full of breath, firelight, and stubborn human will. If this story changed how you see the past, and maybe even the present, consider continuing the journey, because the greatest lessons of survival are often hidden in the coldest stones.